Hello everyone, Matt here, welcome to Simply Strength. In today's video, I thought I'd discuss the importance of mentors and mentorship with relation to personal development and self-actualization, using examples from my own life and more well-known instances from the wider world. This topic was inspired by a video I saw recently from Tai Lopez, a self-help guru and speaker, but more specifically and perhaps more prominently, I was inspired by a video from Truth Over Everything, a MGTOW video creator. His video on Mike Tyson and Cus D'Amato has been absolutely profound for me. I've watched it several times and I think it's one of the most important videos on YouTube and certainly deserves a lot more views than it has. So do check that out. Firstly, I'd like to start off by stressing the importance of having a mentor in your life if you truly have purpose, ambition and drive to succeed. A mentor in this initial, more personal sense can take the form of a learned colleague at work, an academic at university, especially a dissertation or PhD supervisor, for example, a sports coach, and so on. Literally, you can apply this to any scenario that you can think of, but there are certain characteristics about mentors that differentiate from simple teachers or coaches. Generally, though, one could refer to a mentor as someone that has followed a similar career path to the one that you desire and is willing to provide guidance and support to you along the way. For example, let's say you start out in a manufacturing and logistics job, as I did, straight from school. You go in there at the age of 19 and you're totally green, you know absolutely nothing about the task or duties you need to perform. And it's key that if you want to move forward and become a valuable addition to the workforce and successful, a mentor or guide is going to be extremely important. I was fortunate in this regard, as a distribution planner took me under his wing as the new kid on the block, as it were. I was by far the youngest in the office at this time, and taught me all about the job, aspects of life in general, and allowed me to shadow him, as it were, for the best part of 3 years, until the time came for me to move on. There were other individuals who provided guidance that I perhaps spent more time with overall, but I would not have called them mentors. A mentor should be someone that you can relate to, that has walked the path and forms a unique connection, almost like a student-teacher relationship. When I moved into academia and completely changed my life around, a topic to be discussed in a separate video, I was fortunate to have well-respected practitioners and lecturers in the field as my supervisors for projects. In their roles, they provided me with guidance and advice to achieve my career goals. For example, my undergraduate degree supervisor provided support in choosing the university for my master's degree. And now, 3 years after finishing that, I still work at this university as a lecturer and researcher. Again, I will elaborate on these experiences at a later date. Currently, though, I'm supported by well-known researchers in my field, and they provide guidance, advice, support, and development opportunities. In return, I strive to emulate them in my own way by working hard and grafting towards improving my skills, knowledge, and experience, and achieving my goals. I'm sure that many of you with sporting interests will also be able to relate to the following example from my earlier life. In my late teens, I got into the sport of cricket, which was very late on, and decided to join a local club. I was so passionate about bowling, and for those of you listening from across the Atlantic and elsewhere, do check out the sport if you aren't familiar with it. Yet I was terrible to begin with, absolutely terrible. I attended net sessions and everyone was so much better than me at the time. Not to mention I went in not knowing anybody else at all on the team, so I felt very isolated. I couldn't get a bowl in matches and I was getting frustrated and miserable with my lack of improvement. Fortunately, a high-level coach from the local county setup was also our resident coach at the club, and he offered to provide one-to-one coaching for me. We would meet up throughout the winter months and have net sessions, breaking down my technique, doing drills, working on fitness, and really driving towards success. By the time the next season came, I was a new bowler, rebuilt from scratch, and had a lot more confidence. So I went from being fairly self-taught and just working on my own, as it were, without any real sense of direction, to being guided by this coach, a mentor. The time the next season came, I knocked over some high-value wickets in the pre-season nets and generated a bit of buzz about the club. That season, I bowled well enough to be included in the county averages of the top 10 bowlers in that division, and to this day I still keep the league statistics book as a reminder of that improvement. This is bearing in mind that for the 2 previous seasons, I could not get a game, whereas in 2008, I played every game and topped the averages. This showed me the power of what true mentorship and teamwork can achieve within a sports context. I'm sure you have your own examples of this from your sporting interests. I made a list of some fine examples of mentorship from both real and fictional characters across a number of genres and disciplines. First, we can look at Star Wars, where you have Obi-Wan Kenobi mentoring Anakin and then Luke Skywalker in the ways of the Force, life, and the battle of good over evil, I would guess. The next example I've got in my list is that of Cus D'Amato and Mike Tyson. Again, thanks to Truth Over Everything for his superb video on this topic, and I've included the link to it below. In the music world, we've got Dr. Dre and Eminem. Greek philosophers, Socrates mentored Plato, and then Plato to Aristotle. Legendary Greek philosophers there. More recently, Reg Park mentored Arnold Schwarzenegger in bodybuilding. In classical music, Joseph Haydn mentored Mozart and Beethoven when they were young. In fiction, you could argue that in the recent series Breaking Bad, Walter White mentored Jesse Pinkman in the art of meth production. Morpheus mentored Neo in The Matrix. This is evident throughout the first half of the film, especially, where he instructs him in the ways of breaking the sort of rules of the Matrix in terms of gravity, the martial arts scene, especially one of my favourite scenes in the whole film, the lady in the red dress, when they're walking through and Morpheus highlights the fact that everyone is potentially an agent. That's just really hard-hitting stuff. Gordon Gekko mentored Bud Fox in Wall Street. That's a very good example. Another one of my favourites is Platoon. Chris Taylor, Charlie Sheen's character. Sergeant Barnes, played by Tom Berenger, and Sergeant Elias, played by Willem Dafoe. So they're 2 sides of a different coin. One is the more murderous and one is the more noble. But both of them tried to take Chris under their wing. Going back to cricket again, Terry Jenner mentored the great legendary leg spinner Shane Warne. In rugby union, Steve Black mentored Johnny Wilkinson, and Johnny has written about Blackie at length in terms of how much of a role he played in his life. Joseph Stalin in politics. Joseph Stalin mentored Nikita Khrushchev. So as you can see, there are numerous great examples of mentorship, and the innumerable benefits of being a mentee are very clear, especially to me, and I'm sure they are to you as well. However, if you don't have access to mentors, you needn't worry, as the tools are available to truly obtain great mentorship in the absence of a personal relationship or friendship with an individual in person. With YouTube, you have potentially millions of mentors out there just waiting to be listened to and learned from. From a MGTOW perspective, one is blessed with a whole host of superb mentors, such as Sandman, Truth Over Everything, Stardust, Louis Marco, Barbarossa, Spetsnaz, and many, many more. Whichever field you aspire to move into, though, and truly make your own, the resources are there to obtain mentorship. Another way of obtaining high-quality mentorship is through reading books, although the optimum kind of books. This is really important. Many texts are out there just waiting to teach you, and many are written in such an instructional way that they function as a mentor in and of themselves. In other words, you could have loads of great mentors just sat on your bookshelf waiting to help you, something that Tai Lopez has stated on many occasions. In conclusion, I would strongly urge you to find your passion first, ambition, and drive. Then go about finding the best people to help you make your goals a reality. Whether in person, on film, YouTube, in print, or on audio, get out there and find some great mentorship to truly help you achieve your dreams and drive yourself forward. I'd love to hear your comments, thoughts, and perspective down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you found this video useful and would like to help me continue to make the best videos possible, please check out my Patreon page. Thank you, and take care.